Okay, slope-intercept form of a line. If we look at the equation y equals x, so we've got the point 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. This is called the identity function. Graph of a line. The graph looks like we do this one in blue. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, negative 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 2. The slope of this line, of the line y equals x, or f of x equals x, same thing. If we were to choose like 2 points here, the slope is, recall, subtract the y's over subtract the x's. So we would have 1 minus 0 over 1 minus 0 is 1 over 1, which is just 1. Now let's take a look at a different one. How about, let's do green. What if we had y equals 2x? So if we let x be 0, 1, 2, 3, then each y is going to be 2 times the x value. So 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and 6. So we've got 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 4, negative 1, negative 2, well, I missed, but the graph looks something like this. Let's see if I can straighten this one out a little bit. So notice that this is a much steeper line because each y value is double the x value. So it's going to go up twice as fast as it goes over. The slope, if I choose 2 of these points, like these two, 0, 0 is always easy to work with. So the slope here is going to be 2 minus 0 over 1 minus 0 is 2 over 1, or 2. So here the slope is 2. And it's not a coincidence that for every y value, it's going to be double the x value, and therefore the y's increase twice as fast as the x's. So the slope is 2. That is the definition of the slope. The increase in y it's the change in y divided by the change in the x values. So the coefficient of x is going to be your slope when the equation is solved for y. What would cause, let's take a look at another one. What if we want to compare y equals 2x which has, here's some points, 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6. What if we compare that to y equals 2x plus 3? In which case, for every x value, we take the 2x, which would be these numbers, and then we literally add 3. So 2 times 0 is still 0, plus 3 is 3. 2 times 1 is still 2, plus 3 is 5. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. And the next one's going to be 6 plus 3 is 9. Notice here that every time the x increases by 1, the y increases by 2. X increases 1, y increases 2. X increases 1, y increases by 2. So here the slope is the x increases by 1 every time the y increases by 2, so the slope is 2. Here once again, x increases by 1, y goes up 2. X goes up 1, y goes up 2. So the slope here is still 2 over 1 or 2. Here's your slope. But in this case, on the green one, and of course this isn't very straight, we've got 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 4, it's a straight line, so it's going to be kind of like that. With the blue one, we've got over 0 up 3, which if this were straight would be here. This should be going here. And then 1, 5, so 1, 5, and 2, 7. -1 would give us -2 plus 3 would be 1. -2 would be -4 plus 3 is -1. And what we have here is a line that runs parallel to the green line. So these lines are parallel. In the green line, the y-intercept occurs at 0, 0. In the blue line, the y-intercept occurs at 0, 3. Recall that you find an intercept by letting the other letter be 0. In this case, if we put in 0 for x, y is going to be 0. So when x is 0, y is going to be 0. In this case, if we put in 0 for x, it'll wipe this out, y is going to be 3. If it was written in the form y equals mx plus b, and we put in 0 for x, the y value is going to be b. So in all cases where the equation is solved for y, and this is the important thing, it has to be solved for y, that's number 1. Only in the case where it's solved for y will m, the coefficient of your x value, be your slope, and b will be your y-intercept. First rule is it has to be solved for y. So if we had a formula like y equals 3x plus 5, because it's solved for y, then we know that the slope is going to be 3. That's 3 over 1. So it's positive. So if we go up 3, over 1, that's our slope. But the slope is useless until we're on the line. So we know that B is 5. So the y-intercept is going to be the 0.05. We can graph this line real quick and easy by locating this point, 0.5, on the y-axis. I know it's on the y-axis because the x value is 0. And then use the slope. If we go up 3 and over 1, that will give us a second point, and we could do that indefinitely. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. We could go down 3 and 1 to the left, since -3 over -1, which would mean down 3, because that's negative. So a negative direction vertically, top is vertical. So the rise, if it's negative, is actually a drop. And the run, if it's positive, goes to the right. If it's negative, goes to the left. So if we go down 3 and 1 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. So we can graph this, and you only have to have 2 points to graph it. We can graph this by finding the y-intercept. That's 1 point. And then use the slope to find a second point. Two points will make a line. So if we had f of x means exactly the same thing as y. -2/3 x plus 2. So our slope is -2/3. The y-intercept is 0.02. All we have to do to graph this is locate the y-intercept, and then since this is negative, we'll go down 2, and then +3 would be to the right. So we go down 2, 3 to the right. There's a second point. There's our line. Always double check and make sure that the direction of your line matches the sign on your slope, and the steepness matches the number. Since 2/3 is smaller than 1, it's going to be less than 45-degree angle. What if we have to write an equation of the graphed line? Oh, that sounds tricky. And we've got a line that goes through the point 0, -3, and say the point 1, 0. This is going to be B, our y-intercept. So B is -3, and we're trying to write an equation in this form. We need the slope. We've got B. We need the slope. Well, between this point and this point, if we go up 3 and then over 1, so the slope is up and over. So the 3 goes on the top. So that's equal to 3. So B is -3, M is +3. The equation of the line is just y equals 3x minus 3. That's all there is to it. What if they ask us to find the slope and y-intercept of the equation, I don't know, 3x minus 4y equals 12. In order to find the y-intercept, we could either put it in slope-intercept form or put in 0 for x. But because we want the slope, the only good way to do that is to get it from the slope-intercept form. So let's go ahead and solve for y. Never takes more than 2 steps. We're going to take this equation. To solve it for y, you want to subtract your x term. It's going to leave a negative for y here. Do not lose this negative. Can't combine these because they're not like terms. So minus 3x plus 12. And then we want to divide by the -4. Now go ahead and do this separately. Go over -4, over -4, over -4, because we know we're trying to get it in the form y equals mx plus b. There's alternative ways to find the y-intercept, but not really to find the slope. So this is going to leave us 1y. So that's just y. Negative over negative is positive, so 3/4 x. Positive over negative is negative, minus 3. So we know the slope is 3/4. The y-intercept is the point 0, -3. And if they asked us to graph it while we were at it, we would find the 0, -3. Here's up and over. So we would go up 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our second point. Just draw the line. That should pretty well take care of it for just this, and then we'll go on in another video on how to write the equation of a line if we don't happen to know the slope at the y-intercept. So that'll be the next video, and I will see you then.